During the college entrance exam, I deliberately answered all the bonus questions correctly just to stay away from the school beauty Lu Rian. After leaving the exam hall, Lu Rian's friends mocked me. Shen Fan, Lu Rian said she didn't do well on the exam. Remember to hand in a blank paper this afternoon, or you won't have a chance to fawn over her anymore. A burst of laughter followed. I looked at Lu Rian's disgusted expression, nodded and said I understood, but in my heart I was thinking, let whoever wants to be a simp can be one, I'm not gonna serve them. I called the butler and immediately cancelled all financial support to her family, kicking them out of our property. Lu Ruan frantically called me 99 times, but I didn't answer a single one. Now she's worried, where was she before? In my past life, as the son of the richest man, I was wildly obsessed with my family driver's daughter. To marry her, I handed over the company my father left me. Yet, while spending my money, she flirted and dated someone else. Her boyfriend was spoiled into a little prince, while I was ordered around like a servant. On her wedding day, I called her to borrow some money for medical treatment, but she cruelly said, "These years of being harassed by you have been a nightmare. Chen Fan, please stay away from me." On my deathbed, looking at the woman holding me, I realized that she, whom I had once rejected, had actually been waiting for me all along. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself back in senior year 3. This year I was slumping over my desk, taking a nap, when I was woken up by Lu Ruyan. Lu Jingnian's stomach isn't feeling well. Go buy him some medicine, then go to the cafeteria to get lunch. Make sure to get extra meat. He's too skinny and needs to build up his health. At that moment, Lu Jingnian was leaning on his desk, surrounded by a crowd of classmates like stars orbiting the moon. Everyone was worried about his stomachache, but the one who cared the most was, of course, Lu Ruyan. The two of them were always top students in class. In everyone's eyes, they were a match made in heaven. Meanwhile, I was just Lu Ruyan's brainless simp, napping in class every day, and running errands, getting meals, and buying water for her after class. Reborn, seeing Lu Ruyan's face again only felt hilarious. Who does she think she is to walk all over me like this? Seeing me dazed, Lu Ruyan spoke up. What are you standing there for? Hurry up and go. Lu Ruyan walked to Lu Jimian's side and gently patted his back. At this moment, Lu Jimian glanced at me. It's not good to let Chen Fan go, I'll go myself. What's there to be afraid of? He likes to do this kind of thing. If I don't let him do it, he'll get upset, right? She looked at me. I curled my lips and went to the cafeteria without saying a word. This time I queued up and got 2 meals. The classmate next to me saw me and chuckled. Here to get food for Lu Ruyan again. But she likes Lu Jimian, someone as outstanding as him. She wouldn't look at someone like you. What am I? You're just a driver's son. You go to school with the young lady every day and dream of marrying her. Wake up. A stupid and useless boy like you will only ever be a mediocre person in the young lady's family, washing clothes, sweeping floors, and changing diapers for her son. I laughed angrily. Did Lu Ruyan tell you guys that I'm the son of a servant? Before, it was because I liked her that I allowed her to ride in my family's car to and from school every day. But now, in the eyes of others, Lu Ruyan had become the rich young lady and I had become the servant's son. Hearing me ask this, the other person rolled their eyes. Otherwise, hurry up and take lunch to the young lady. Don't be late. The person laughed as they spoke, and the people around also started laughing, mocking my simp behavior and my pipe dream. The bell rang. I came out of the cafeteria, didn't return to the classroom, but sat down by the flower bed and ate both portions of food together. I couldn't remember when the last time I had a proper meal was. Every time, I would go to the market after it closed and pick up discarded vegetables. Meat was out of the question. I finished both meals to slightly alleviate my hunger. When I returned to the classroom, the first bell had already rung. Lu Ruyan saw me come in and angrily asked, "Why are you so late? Did you buy medicine?" "What medicine?" I looked at her coldly, completely lacking the enthusiasm I usually showed her. Lu Ruyan looked at me speechlessly. "Where's the stomach medicine I asked you to buy for Lu Jimian? I told you he wasn't feeling well. Are you deaf? You can't even handle such a small thing." I glanced at Lu Jimian, whose face was deathly pale. What kind of relationship do I have with Lu Jimian? Why should I buy medicine for him? Lu Jimian's family isn't well off. Ever since he met Lu Ruyan, she's been incredibly good to him. Whenever my dad gives me something nice, Lu Ruyan gives it to Lu Jimian. Even the watch Lu Jimian is wearing now is mine. These two are using my credit card, spending my money, enjoying everything I have, yet they treat me like I'm nothing. Fine, Chen Fan, you want to cause trouble, huh? If you keep this up, don't blame me for ignoring you next time. Don't end up begging me for forgiveness. At this moment, I stared at Lu Ruyan, finding her words laughable. What have I done that I need your forgiveness for? What did I do wrong? Seeing that I dared to argue with Lu Ruyan, everyone else looked over. What's going on? This simp has actually changed his ways. Lu Ruyan was stunned for a moment. She looked at me, remembering how I always begged her. If you're so capable, then don't come home with me this afternoon. I nodded. Okay, I said, walking to my seat. I seemed not to have heard what Lu Ruyan was saying, but I had already agreed in my heart. Wang Yan, Lu Jimian's deskmate, saw this scene and immediately stood up to uphold justice. No, Chen Fan, what's wrong with you? It was just asking you to buy medicine, and you couldn't even do that. Didn't you see Lu Jimian wasn't feeling well? I gave him a cold look. Since that's the case, why don't you go buy it now? Wang Yan said righteously. This is what you should do. Why should I go? I have no relation to Lu Jimian. Why should I buy it? Wang Yan pointed at me. You're a nobody in Xiaohua's family. Now it's only right that you buy medicine for Xiaohua's friend. Bringing this up, I looked at Lu Ruyan. Lu Ruyan, did you go around telling everyone outside that I'm a servant in your family? I fixed my gaze on her, but Lu Ruyan felt a bit guilty. Of course, these were all rumors from people seeing her getting picked up by a luxury car every day. She just never bothered to explain. She couldn't possibly tell others that her father was just a driver, and she was the driver's daughter. If you didn't buy the medicine, then forget it. I'll buy it myself later. Thinking that I liked her, Lu Ruyan found it normal that I was unwilling to buy medicine for Lu Jingnian. She looked at me, you bought lunch, right? If you didn't buy medicine, you must have bought food, right? Hearing from the classmates who went to get food, they saw me buying 2 portions. I calmly said, ate it. What did you say, you ate both portions? Looking at Lu Ruyan's agitated state, I nodded. The classmates at the front desk snickered and looked at me with disdain. Are you a pig, eating 2 portions? They were used to flattering Lu Ruyan and looking down on me. Before, considering they were Lu Ruyan's friends, I gave them face, not wanting to offend anyone around her, hoping they would speak well of me. Now I realized I was just spoiling them too much. Obviously, every time Lu Ruyan treated them to meals, it was all my money. I spent my own money, let alone eating 2 portions. Even eating 20 portions is totally justified. The classmates at the front desk heard my words, and their faces turned dark. Finally, they muttered in a low voice, using your own money. Isn't all your money given by the school Bell's family? I didn't even bother to explain, but Lu Ruyan next to me was already angry, especially since I didn't get her lunch, causing her to not even have food to eat. Her temper flared up even more. She said to me, Chen Fan, you asked for this, I hope you can last 2 more days this time. Saying that, she stood up, grabbed her things, and said to Lu Jingnian's deskmate Wang Yan, I'll swap with you, you go sit with him. Every time she was unhappy, this was how she punished me, refusing to sit at the same desk with me. After all, having her sit with me was something I had begged for before. She was considered my tutor, sitting beside me to explain lessons and help me revise. But thinking back now, what lessons did Lu Ruyan ever explain to me? Every day she just bossed me around. She seemed to think this could intimidate me, but I ignored her completely. Lu Ruyan didn't get to eat lunch, and Lu Jingnian was feeling unwell due to his stomachache. Sitting aside, her face darkened as she looked at me by the window. This time Lu Ruyan was truly angry, thinking that when I came to apologize she would make me realize her power. When school was over in the afternoon, the Maybach that picked me up was parked at the entrance. After leaving the school gate, I walked straight to the car. Everyone in the school now knew I had offended Lu Ruyan, and were waiting to see me make a fool of myself. Seeing me shameless enough to get in the car, they couldn't help but point fingers at me. Didn't he refuse to even buy lunch for the school Bell? How does he have the nerve to keep hitching a ride in her family's car? Just a servant's son? Does he actually think he's the master? The school Bell hasn't even arrived. How dare he get in the car? The school Bell is just too nice. If I met such an ignorant servant's son, I would have fired him directly. Listening to those mocking voices, I was too lazy to care. After getting into the car, I directly instructed the driver, drive. Uncle Lu glanced at me, but Miss Lu hasn't come out yet, let's wait a bit. Sometimes Lu Ruyan would come late due to student council affairs, and I would always wait. He thought today would be a long wait too, not expecting that I would tell him to drive right away. Seeing the driver not obeying my order and even speaking up for Lu Ruyan, I found it amusing. Uncle Lu, my dad only has one son. Where did a miss come from in our family? Did you have a fight with Ruyan? Young master, rest assured I will lecture her when we get back. No need. Drive immediately. I don't want to be in the same car with her, nor do I want to see her in the future. Uncle Lu looked hesitant and didn't listen to me. He knew very well how much I feared his daughter. Whenever Lu Ruyan said something, I didn't dare to refute. Even if he didn't listen to me, I wouldn't do anything to him. At most, Lu Ruyan would scold me a bit, thinking that I would inherit the family estate in the future, and all that money would belong to his daughter. The driver no longer treated himself as just a driver, putting on the airs of a father-in-law in front of me. Are you driving or not? I frowned. Actually, my father had wanted to fire him long ago because he heard that he gambled in secret. My father felt uneasy keeping such a person at home. But back then, my brain was damaged, and I kept speaking up for him, wanting him to stay so Lu Ruyan could stay in the Chen family too. I said a lot of good things for him and claimed he was very good to me. Only then did this driver stay until now. Unexpectedly, he didn't even listen to me, his master, anymore. They're here. Seeing Lu Ruyan appear at the entrance, Uncle Lu hurriedly got off the car. Lu Ruyan was supporting Lu Jingnian, and the two walked to the car together. Uncle Lu helped open the car door, and Lu Ruyan was about to support Lu Jingnian inside. Because she liked Lu Ruyan, to let her go home with me, Lu Jingnian had always been with us. The driver would drop Lu Jingnian off first before taking us home. Not only that, but we also had to wake up early in the morning to pick up Lu Jingnian first. Before Lu Jingnian could get in, I spoke up. Didn't you say you wouldn't go back with me this afternoon? Why are you still taking my car? The surrounding classmates watching couldn't help but start cursing upon seeing this. What's wrong with Chen Fan? This is clearly the school Bell's car, right? How come he's acting like the owner? Yeah, letting him ride along is already polite enough, and he actually refuses to let the young lady in. Everyone was talking at once. Lu Ruyan looked at me, her expression stiff, not understanding what had gotten into me today. She wouldn't even take the easy way out. Do you have to be like this? I haven't even been angry with you about what happened at noon. Chen Fan, if you really want to make a scene, I don't need your forgiveness. Go back by yourself, don't come with me. Lu Ruian's face turned pale and then red. She knew that in everyone's eyes she was a rich second generation, and if she didn't ride with me wouldn't her true identity be exposed. She simply reached out and pulled me out of the car, then let Lu Jimian get in. Lu Ruian, don't go too far. I admit I was angry with her. I can't remember many things from before, but seeing Lu Ruian's face this time, I don't know how I managed to tolerate it before, even thinking she was nice. Lu Ruian ignored me, clearly not intending to reason with me. She told her father to drive, and Uncle Lu simply drove off. I was left standing there, and the onlookers couldn't help but laugh at the sight. Well done! That's how he should be treated. So unreasonable. I pulled out my phone. This phone was bought by Lu Ruian for herself, a Nokia worth a few hundred. To please her, on my birthday, I gave her the brand new Apple phone my dad gave me and took her broken phone instead. Back then, I thought doing so could protect her self-esteem. Now, seeing this broken phone, I found it quite ridiculous. I called my dad. A moment later, the Maybach that had just driven away returned and stopped at the entrance again. Uncle Lu got off, looking visibly reprimanded, with a very unsightly expression. Young master, ask those two to get down. I don't want to share a car with them. Uncle Lu looked at the two in the car. Lu Ruian supported Lu Jingyan down. Lu Jingyan didn't expect such a turn of events either, his face turning from pale to red. Shen Fan, you can be dissatisfied with me, but there's no need to target Ruian like this. She has always been good to you, right? Lu Ruian pulled Lu Jingyan back. Don't talk to him. Seeing both of them down, I got into the car. Before leaving, I rolled down the window, smiled and waved at Lu Ruian. Goodbye. Uncle Lu looked at me from the mirror, surprised by how decisive I was, and couldn't help but say, young master, arguing with friends is normal, don't be angry. Later I'll have Ruian apologize to you. It's just that she has no car now and might have to take the bus. Who knows what time she'll get home. Everyone else can take the bus, why can't she? Uncle Lu, have you forgotten who pays your salary? If you find me unpleasant to the eye, how about resigning directly? Seeing his daughter, he didn't even put me in his eyes anymore. Hearing my words, Uncle Lu was scared into shutting his mouth immediately. Returning home, Aunt Jo saw me. Young master, how come you came back alone? Where is Miss Lu? We won't have a Miss Lu in our family from now on. Hearing me, Aunt Jo was stunned. My young master finally came to his senses. I had always been good to Lu Ruian, making the driver father and daughter lose track of their status. Many times Aunt Jo wanted to speak up, but didn't dare to because I would be unhappy. Hearing my words now, Aunt Jo was very moved. She looked at me. She was the kindest to me among the servants at home, but because she used to intervene in Lu Ruian's matters, I found her annoying. Later, after Lu Ruian took over the house, Aunt Jo was the first to be driven away. Thinking of the past, looking at Aunt Jo now, my eyes felt a bit sore. I'll go upstairs first. Okay, Miss Li is here, should I tell her to go back directly? Actually, Li Xia often came to our home, but because she was arranged by my father and I liked Lu Ruan, I was extremely annoyed by Li Xia. Every time she came, I didn't even see her and had her sent away directly, so in the end, I didn't see Li Xia much either. Thinking that before I died, it was her people who sent me to the hospital, and she even remembered that she was my fiancée. I stopped Aunt Jo. I'll go see her. Where is she? In the backyard, playing with Dabai. I went to the backyard and saw Li Xia feeding Dabai. This dog was one I wanted to keep myself, but Lu Ruian said she didn't like dogs, so I stopped approaching it. Unexpectedly, Li Xia got along quite well with Dabai, thinking of hearing people mention her before my death. Despite her great conditions, she remained single for so many years. My eyes turned red. Li Xia finished petting Dabai before raising her head to look at me. Seeing me standing at the door, not knowing how long I had been there, she was about to walk over, but remembered how much I disliked her, so she stopped. Young Master Chen. Li Xia was good-looking, with a calm personality. Though the same age as me, she looked like she was in her 20s. As for her grades, she was always number 1 in the province. She was the person Lu Ruian disliked the most. Lu Ruian always said Li Xia only performed well because of her family's resources, and that given the same conditions, she wouldn't be worse than Li Xia. Every time she saw Li Xia's grades, Lu Ruian felt uncomfortable, which led me to treat Li Xia as an enemy too. Looking closely now, I had never had any real conflict with her. How had she ever offended me? Meeting her this time, I managed to restrain my emotions and ask, "Do you need something from me? Just came to see you." Seeing I didn't speak, Li Xia sensibly said, "I know you don't want to see me, I'll leave right away." She didn't expect to see me either, just wanted to come look at Dabai, expecting that I would turn her away as usual. Hearing my question, she was ready to leave. "Do you want to stay for dinner?" Hearing this, Li Xia was stunned and looked at me in surprise. "Can I?" The sunset fell on me, adding a bit of warmth. Of course. At this time Lu Ruian hadn't returned yet, she was dropping Lu Jingyan off. In the past I would definitely wait for her before having dinner. Seeing me wanting to eat so early today, Aunt Jo was a bit surprised. Not waiting for Miss Lu, why wait for her? Since the servants were used to me acting as a simp for Lu Ruian, they were still unaccustomed to me stopping now. Aunt Jo didn't ask further. "Okay, I'll arrange it right away. Either way, inform Uncle Lu that he doesn't need to come tomorrow." Aunt Jo was stunned for a moment, then quickly reacted. After all, it wasn't her place to pry into the master's business. After firing Lu Ruyan's father, I sat down in the dining room. Lixia was secretly looking at me, but seeing me sit, she awkwardly turned her gaze away. I didn't expect Lixia to be so shy at this age, and I couldn't help but want to tease her. Why aren't you looking at me? Am I ugly? My grades are bad, but I look decent. If I hadn't been ruined by Lu Ruyan later, I wouldn't have fallen to that point. No. She looked at me with a calm face, but if one looked closely, her ears were red. I smiled and asked, right, I heard your grades are always good. Do you have any reliable tutors to recommend to me? Relying on Lu Ruyan was out of the question. In this life, I didn't want to be like the previous life, thinking my father could protect me forever without ever opening a book. While there was still time, I needed to catch up on my grades. Lixia had good resources, so her recommended tutors might be useful. You're looking for a tutor. What about Lu Ruyan? She had heard before that I hired a tutor who was my classmate, which was why Lu Ruyan kept living in my house. She was fired because Lu Ruyan looked down on me and had no patience to tutor me at all. All the money I gave went down the drain. Lixia was a bit surprised. Seeing me serious and not joking, she picked up her cup, took a sip to hide her nervousness. I don't have a tutor, I study on my own. If you don't mind, I can come over every day to tutor you. Though she thought I probably wouldn't agree. After all, I used to disdaining even looking at her. To her surprise, I showed a look of delight. Really? Alicia nodded, flattered. As long as you're willing, I can. Of course, no problem. I just worry it might delay your studies. It's fine. Won't affect it. Though her face had no expression, her eyes were very gentle. High school courses she had long mastered, and she already had a deferred admission slot, but fearing it would cause my resentment, she didn't dare say it. Then thank you, my grades are very poor, don't find me stupid. Lu Ruyan's grades were good too, but she had no patience for me. The same question, if she explained it once and I didn't get it, she would scold me. Originally my grades were average, but after her tutoring I regressed a lot, losing all confidence. I won't. Then after school from now on, I'll come to your house to find you. We ate together. Seeing Lixia being very quiet, I picked up food for her with chopsticks. Treat it like your own home, don't be polite. Right at this moment, Lu Ruyan, who had sent Lu Jingyan home, walked in. She had just received the news of her father being fired and was scolded by him. Seeing that I didn't wait for her and all the dishes on the table were touched, her face instantly darkened. I glanced at her indifferently and continued eating. Lu Ruyan originally wanted to confront me about her father, but seeing Lixia here, she asked displeasedly, why is she here? In the past, to please her, I never got close to other girls. Every time Lixia came, I turned her away without even looking. She didn't expect I would actually keep her for dinner now. She is my guest, do you have a problem? Lu Ruyan had no choice but to sit down looking at me. Did you intentionally call her over to accompany you just to make me angry? Lixia sat aside without speaking. I looked at Lu Ruyan. You think too much. Lu Ruyan, you're not that important. In the past, I thought this woman was my world, and everything revolved around her. But reborn once, seeing her now only brought disgust and contempt. Continuing to like such a person would only plunge my life into an endless abyss. If you think being with other girls can make me angry, Chen Fan, you're really overthinking. Seeing you close with others, I can't wait for it. Saves you coming to bother me every day. After saying that, she went straight upstairs back to her room. I was speechless. Once Lu Ruyan left, I could see the eyes of Lixia opposite me becoming complex. Don't listen to her nonsense. She won't get angry over this. I felt a bit uncertain. To my surprise, Lixia didn't say a word about it, though her attitude seemed a bit cold. After dinner, I walked Lixia out, looking at her, be careful on the road. Okay. She left without saying much to me, looking very quiet. Returning home, Lu Ruyan came down from the stairs. Although she did many terrible things later, this face was indeed good-looking, appearing gentle and quiet. Before, I was fooled by this appearance of hers. Now Lu Ruyan said to me, why did you fire my dad? She didn't say these words in front of others earlier because she didn't want everyone to know she was just the driver's daughter. Throwing a scene in front of Lixia would lose her face. I said speechlessly, do I need to explain to you why I fire a driver? That's my dad. Everything today was because I asked him to do it. It has nothing to do with him. If you have the ability, come at me, just fire me then. The mention of firing her instantly refreshed my spirits. I stared at Lu Ruyan, sure, no problem. What did you just say? Lu Ruyan stared at me in shock, seeing my reaction. Didn't you always think we? Since that's the case, let's just forget it in the future. Move out of my house, I'll find another tutor. Ever since you started tutoring me, my grades have only gotten worse. I think you're not worthy of the high salary I pay you. Lu Ruyan thought I was just joking with her, but didn't expect I really wanted to fire her and stop her from being my tutor. Your bad grades are because you're too stupid. For the same question, I explained it once to Lu Jingyan and he understood immediately. What about you? Dumb as a pig. You blame me for this? Even if you switch to another teacher, it'll be the same. No one can teach you more. This is entirely your own problem. Seeing her still looking for excuses from me, I said, move out of the house. Lu Ruyan knitted her brows. Chen Fan, you're still a student now. You should focus on studying. No wonder your grades are bad. What on earth are you talking about? Aren't all these little tricks of yours just because you're jealous of my good relationship with Lu Jingyan? So you're in a bad mood. But currently, I only want to focus on studying and get into a good university. I'm not like you. Even without school your family has plenty of money, so I can't be with you right now. I looked at the woman in front of me, feeling shocked in my heart. After a few seconds of reaction, who wants to be with you? Lu Ruyan, where did you get this confidence? Do you really think I'd be with you? You're nothing to me. Lu Ruyan thought I was just being stubborn. Think whatever you want, but I must remind you, next time you keep Li Xia for dinner at home, don't blame me for ignoring you. After saying that, she went straight back to her room and slammed the door shut. I returned to my room, then called Aunt Joe, tomorrow move Lu Ruyan's things out of her room. My house can't hold someone who steps on my head. Then I asked for Li Xia's phone number, saved it, and sent her a message, did you reach home? But she didn't reply. Waking up in the morning, because I didn't need to pick up Lu Jingyan anymore, I could sleep until I woke up naturally. I thought Lu Ruyan had already left, but after getting up, I saw her sitting at the dining table waiting for me. I found a place to sit down and began enjoying my breakfast. To catch up on picking up Lu Jingyan every day, I had rarely eaten breakfast properly at home. Seeing Lu Ruyan waiting for me here, I said, I'm not picking him up, you can leave early. After breakfast I walked out, and Lu Ruyan followed closely behind me. The driver had been replaced by someone else, who proactively opened the door for me. I got in, and Lu Ruyan followed inside. I looked at her. School bell Lu, what is the meaning of this? Didn't you say you wouldn't go with me? I remembered what she said yesterday very clearly. Lu Ruyan pressed her lips together without speaking. If her father hadn't insisted she coax me, she wouldn't bother. Isn't it just because my family has some money and likes to bully people? What's so great about that? But her father still needed this job. I didn't bother wasting time with her here. I told the driver to drive, and we reached the school gate. I got off and Lu Ruyan followed behind me. In the past when they came they always brought Lu Jingyan along. Today Lu Jingyan came by bus himself. Seeing Lu Ruyan he quickly walked over, his eyes falling on me. Yesterday I threw a scene and he couldn't understand how a servant's son dared to be so arrogant to Lu Ruyan. Seeing Lu Ruyan coming to school with me, he asked, did you two make up? I didn't pay attention to them and walked straight inside. Lu Ruyan looked at my back. Seeing me completely ignore her, she slightly knitted her brows and said to Lu Jingyan, there's nothing to make up between me and him. No matter what, letting a servant's son bully you like this, your temper is too good. Now everyone is talking saying Chen Fan is the young master. No need to care about their views. My dad has a good relationship with Chen Fan's father. He asked me to take care of Chen Fan more, so I can't just leave him be, right? Alright then. Hearing it was because of her father's matter, Lu Jingyan breathed a sigh of relief. When I reached the classroom, Wang Yan was already there, blocking my seat to prevent me from entering. Move. Wang Yan glanced at me and spoke up. You really have no shame? Yesterday you directly left the school bell and Lu Jingyan behind, and let the driver drive away. I stared at Wang Yan and chuckled coldly. My own car. I have the right to decide who rides it. Is it any of your business? Who do you think you are? Seeing my confident look, everyone couldn't help but feel curious. Are you saying that Maybach belongs to your family? Otherwise. I looked indifferently at the person who spoke. Wang Yan laughed directly. Just you. Chen Fan, we know your background clearly. Now you want to pretend to be a rich young master here. Do you even have the qualifications? I heard that driver is your dad. Your whole family works for the Lu family. The school bell is nice enough not to hold it against you, otherwise she would have kicked you out long ago. But don't push your luck. Wang Yan had a good relationship with Lu Jingyan, and Lu Jingyan was often with Lu Ruyan. Hearing him say this, everyone believed his words. Lu Ruyan and Lu Jingyan had already appeared at the classroom door. Lu Ruyan's expression looked a bit stiff because what Wang Yan said wasn't scolding me but scolding her. She walked over and said to Wang Yan, go back to your seat. Wang Yan helplessly glanced at Lu Ruyan, feeling her dissatisfaction, and had to move his things away. Lu Ruyan sat down beside me again. Facing her action I didn't care much as I didn't mind her behavior. She was a favorite in front of the teachers and had great interpersonal relationships. Swapping seats wouldn't make others speak ill of her. Wang Yan sat next to Lu Jingyan, feeling quite upset, and said to Lu Jingyan, what does the school bell mean by this? Chen Fan is stepping all over her, and she's still protecting him. Chen Fan even moved in to live with her family now. Her dad asked her to take good care of Chen Fan, nothing else. Don't think too much. So that's why. I was wondering why Chen Fan is like this, even claiming that car belongs to his family. The school bell's phone looks very expensive at first glance, and the gifts she gives you aren't cheap either. Looking at the phone Chen Fan uses, it's about the same as mine, and he still wants to disguise himself as a rich young master. Who would believe it? Sitting in my seat, I secretly checked my phone. Li Xia finally replied to my message, just a single word V, and it looked extremely cold, making me recall how friendly she was to me yesterday, yet after returning, her attitude became cold again. The message sent last night was only replied to now. Lu Ruyan happened to be sitting beside me. Seeing me checking messages with the contact named Li Xia, she couldn't help but frown. Nothing had changed, yet since yesterday, she felt like I had become another person. I took out my phone and sent Li Xia a text. Are you still coming for tutoring this afternoon? Li Xia replied with just another word, Ian. Since she was coming, it was fine. I didn't bother with it anymore and focused extremely hard in class. At noon, Lu Jingyan came over to go downstairs for lunch with Lu Ruyan. Lu Ruyan couldn't help but glance at me and asked, aren't you going to eat? My level of focus today made Lu Ruyan feel amazed. I didn't even nap during class. Right now I was still carefully organizing my notes. In the past, the school bell was all that was in my mind every day, but now there were actually times when I studied seriously. Seeing me still busy after class, Lu Ruyan couldn't help but ask out of curiosity, but I acted as if I didn't hear her at all and directly ignored her. Lu Jingyan glanced at Lu Ruyan and said, "Shen Fan isn't going, let's go ourselves. We can bring some back for him later." I declined Lu Jimian's offer. Lu Jimian is a good person, at least in everyone's eyes he always has been. Therefore, even if others laugh at him behind his back, Lu Jimian maintains an optimistic and positive attitude. But I didn't want to owe anyone a favor. I carefully packed my belongings, then stood up and didn't go downstairs with them. Lu Jimian followed Lu Ruyan and said, "What's wrong with him? He's ignoring you. What did you do to offend him?" Lu Ruyan was also puzzled. She wanted to understand as well. No matter how cold Lu Ruyan was to me usually, I would always cling to her like a little lapdog. However, since yesterday, even though I hadn't done anything, Lu Ruyan was still confused by me acting like this. It was really confusing. By the way, do you want to invite him to your birthday party this weekend? This week is Lu Ruyan's birthday. Lu Ruyan celebrated her birthday at the Huangting Hotel last year. I've booked the hotel and arranged everything. Having Lu Ruyan invite classmates to her birthday party cost hundreds of thousands of yuan in one night, and all the classmates who went raved about it. I felt it was an honor to attend Lu Ruyan's birthday party, and this time was no exception. I had already arranged everything properly a few days ago. If I hadn't said I was going to fire her, Lu Ruyan wouldn't have thought anything of it. But after what I said yesterday, she was indifferent again today, making her wonder if she would still have her birthday party if I didn't go. Seeing my retreating figure, Lu Ruyan couldn't help but comfort herself. Forget it. What am I worried about? He wouldn't ignore my birthday. Maybe he's deliberately being cold to me to give me a surprise. Thinking this, she relaxed a little and said to Lu Jimian, "He'll definitely come. Yes, he'll always show up for your birthday." In the afternoon, Lu Ruyan and Lu Jimian had rehearsals for the school anniversary performance. I didn't wait for them and went straight home. Li Xia was already there. As soon as I got back, she and Dabai came to greet me. Seeing Li Xia appear before me, I smiled. Perhaps it was because of our connection in my past life, but now every time I saw her felt precious. Seeing the smile on my face, Li Xia was stunned for a moment. She was used to my willful and indifferent attitude. Lately, my enthusiasm made her a little shy and hesitant around me. I looked at her and smiled. "You're here so early. Let's go straight to the study." I led Li Xia upstairs. Today in class, I found that there were many parts I didn't understand. I thought I could ask you for help. The two of us sat down in the study. Li Xia sat down next to me. She brought 2 test papers, wanting to understand my current level. I carefully finished the test papers and handed them to her. Li Xia silently took the test papers and studied them for a moment. I felt a little ashamed. "I'm sorry, I'm really stupid." "It's not your problem, it's just that your learning method isn't quite right. I'll help you with the basics first." "Okay." I nodded in agreement. Li Xia kept her head down throughout the lesson, not looking at me, and explained very seriously. However, her problem-solving approach was incredibly easy for me to understand. Many things that I couldn't understand before became clear after she explained them. Li Xia talked for a while and then felt a little thirsty. She looked up and noticed that I was watching her. She swallowed nervously and then turned her gaze back to the questions. "What's wrong? Is there a problem?" I thought. "I just felt that you were very patient with me, but why were you so aloof on the phone? You only replied with 2 words the whole time." I heard a series of sounds, and by the time I saw it, it was already morning. "If you need any help, you can call me anytime." Just as the two of us were busy, my phone suddenly rang. I quickly answered the phone, and Lu Ruyan's voice came from the other end. "Shen Fan, what do you mean by this? What did I do this time?" Hearing her accusatory tone, I was completely baffled as to what I had done to offend her. "You actually made them throw all my things away." I couldn't help but glance at Li Xia, and without hiding anything from her, I said directly to Lu Ruyan, "I told you yesterday you were fired. Since that's the case, you have no reason to stay in my house anymore, right? I'm still in class, don't bother me." With that, I hung up the phone. Lu Ruyan stood at the door, watching her luggage being thrown out, unable to believe I could do such a thing. "I really have to kick her out," I said, hanging up the phone. I said to Li Xia, "Let's continue." Li Xia responded. A moment later, the study door suddenly opened, and Lu Ruyan stood in the doorway. Her face was dark with anger, and her gaze fell on Li Xia and me, a hint of contempt in her eyes. Seeing her there, I stood up and asked, "What are you doing here? Didn't you dislike me? Didn't you look down on me? Now she's starting to pester me relentlessly." Lu Ruyan stepped forward, her tone accusatory. "Punishing you for insulting me like this, do you think it's funny?" Li Xia also stood up, instinctively standing in front of me to protect me. "Humiliating you." Seeing Lu Ruyan's anger, I retorted, "Are you mistaken? How did I humiliate you, Lu Ruyan? The one who's truly humiliated is me. I'm responsible for all your living expenses. You and Lu Jimian are inseparable every day, and I'm like a servant following behind you. I serve you, yet I have to endure your indifference. Isn't that humiliation? Now I'm just taking back everything I gave her, but in her eyes, this has become humiliation." Lu Ruyan pursed her lips slightly, looking at me. "Don't think that just because you brought someone here you can coerce me into doing anything with you. There's no way I could like you. It's impossible for us to be together," she said. turning and leaving, bumping into the door in the process. I opened the window and watched her go downstairs, grab her luggage, and leave without hesitation, quite decisively. Lu Ruyan has always been very proud in front of me. Although her family is poor, she has an unyielding spirit. No matter how good I am to her, she will never succumb to the temptation of money. That's what attracted me to her before, but looking back now it seems ridiculous. Li Xia, seeing me standing by the window, reminded me, "Shen Fan, I'm sorry. Let's continue. Or I should go back first, you seem a little down." "No, I'm fine. I was just thinking about my past life, about some foolish things I did. It's not that I'm sad for Lu Ruyan. Seeing Lu Ruyan like this actually makes me quite happy, because at least now I don't have to worry about my future. Being away from Lu Ruyan, I won't get sick again in this life, and I won't end up like that again," Li Xia said. "I'll go back first." She was about to leave when I stepped forward and grabbed her hand. Li Xia was startled and turned to stare at me. "What's wrong?" I didn't know what I was doing either, but I wasn't stupid. I could tell she was a little unhappy. Whenever Lu Ruyan arrived and said those things, Li Xia would subconsciously try to distance herself from me. Before, my relationship with Lu Ruyan was very close. I had never hidden my feelings for her. I think everyone, even Li Xia, thought so. They all thought I liked Lu Ruyan. Of course, I really did like her before. If it weren't for that tragic ending in my past life, I probably would never have realized it. Seeing Li Xia looking at me, I let go of her hand. "Do you have time on Saturday? I'd like to go to Huangting Hotel for dinner. Do you want to come along? The food at Huangting Hotel is delicious. I was starving in my past life, and now I just want to enjoy myself. If it were before, I would definitely bring Lu Ruyan, but now I'd rather invite Li Xia. Anyway, she's the marriage partner my father arranged. As long as I don't do it, there's a high chance I'll marry Li Xia after graduation. I used to think my dad disrespected me, but now that I think about it, she's no less beautiful than Lu Ruyan. Plus, she's pretty and comes from a good family. The fact that she's interested in me makes my father the one who benefits." "You're not with her. The person she mentioned is Lu Ruyan," I retorted. "So you really want me to be with her? You want me to avoid you like before?" "Of course not," I replied. "Then it's settled. See you Saturday." On Saturday afternoon, I arrived a little late. As I entered, I saw many old friends at the door, all dressed smartly. Seeing me, Wang Yan, Lu Jimian's good friend, couldn't help but laugh. "Chen Fan, how dare you show your face here? Why can't I come? The owner of the Royal Court Hotel is a good friend of my dad's. I'm a super VIP here, I can come whenever I want. I'd like to know why I can't come." Wang Yan sneered. "These past 2 days at school, Lu Ruyan hasn't paid any attention to you. Now it's her birthday, and you still have the nerve to come. It's Lu Ruyan's birthday. Oh right, today is her birthday. I've been in class lately and hadn't thought about it. If they hadn't reminded me, I would have almost forgotten. I had already spoken to the people at the Royal Court Hotel beforehand. This year is Lu Ruyan's 18th birthday. The year she turned 18, I threw her a huge lavish party at the Royal Court Hotel. But it was on this day that I learned the truth. Chen Fan, can you please stop interfering in my affairs?" Later I got angry and ignored her. We ended up having a cold war for 2 whole days, but I still couldn't help but apologize to her first. To get her to marry me, I even did something as stupid as handing over the company my father left me. Looking at the lively scene before me now, I didn't want to pay attention to them. Everything Lu Ruyan did at the hotel was arranged by me, and naturally, I covered the expenses. Now that I've come to my senses, I'm no longer going to care about her. She actually dared to bring them here to spend money. I'm curious how she's going to clean up this mess. Ignoring my classmates' mockery, I walked calmly into the elevator. My table with Li Xia was already booked, but I didn't know if she had arrived yet. As soon as I stepped out of the elevator, I caught sight of Lu Ruyan chatting animatedly with Lu Jimian. She noticed my arrival immediately, her gaze locking onto me. "I knew you'd be here, I thought you really wouldn't come," Lu Ruyan said, walking towards me with a hint of smugness. "Didn't you say you wouldn't come? Don't think that just because you're here I'll forgive what you did before." "Chen Fan, I'm still angry. She always does this, using her anger to force me to compromise." I looked at her, a slight smile playing on my lips. "You have something to do. Didn't you come for my birthday? Why should I celebrate your birthday? You didn't invite me, did you? So many classmates are celebrating your birthday. You shouldn't need me, right?" "Shen Fan, what do you mean?" Lu Ruyan looked at me irritably. I was still nagging her. I didn't even want her to see me on my birthday. I had to make her angry. Just then, the restaurant manager walked towards me. "Chen Shang, has Li Xia arrived?" The manager nodded. "She has arrived. Please lead the way." "Thank you." The manager was about to lead me to Li Xia when Lu Ruyan followed behind me. "Chen Fan, have you had enough? You still want to find Li Xia? Is she too good-natured?" I glanced at her. "You're the one causing trouble, aren't you? You don't want me to bother you. You think I'm annoying. I'm not bothering you anymore. What's wrong with you? Your friend is waiting for you," I said, glancing at Lu Jimian, who seemed hesitant to follow. Lu Jimian had never seen Lu Ruyan so proactive with me before. Of course I knew why Lu Ruyan was being so proactive. It wasn't that she didn't want me, but rather that she didn't want to part with the money in my pocket. Before, she clearly didn't like me, yet she comfortably enjoyed everything I gave her, verbally refusing to accept my things but happily accepting them. Now that I'm ignoring her, she's panicking. After all, this birthday party has been built up over so long, how could it end so abruptly? If it's because of my relationship with Lu Jimian, I can stay away from his. In that case, could you please stop making a fuss? Surprisingly, she actually chose to back down, which shows how much she misses this birthday party. Indeed, if she didn't care about her image, she wouldn't have cultivated a rich heiress persona at school, nor would she have invited so many people to her birthday party. It turns out she's afraid of losing face too. Having seen Lu Ruyan's aloof and noble demeanor, seeing her compromise for a birthday party is quite interesting. I nodded in agreement. I know it's your birthday today, and you don't want to spoil everyone's fun, right? After saying that, I turned to the manager. I previously reserved a jade hall at your restaurant under the name Lu Ruyan. The manager checked the reservation. It belongs to a certain young master. Since it's Lu Ruyan's birthday today, then she can use the hall. After saying that, I looked at Lu Ruyan. Is that alright? Seeing that I had relented, Lu Ruyan breathed a sigh of relief. You did all this just to separate me from Lu Jimian. You just can't stand us being together. You're overthinking it. I don't care who you're with. Lu Ruyan, you'll understand in time that without me, Chen Fan, you're nothing. The manager stood quietly to the side. My words made Lu Ruyan lose face. I can't be bothered with you. She turned and left decisively. The manager glanced at me. Then I'll have someone arrange things at the Jade Hall. I nodded in response. But remember to make sure she pays all the bills before she leaves. No one is allowed to leave until they've paid. Yes, young Master Chen, everything is arranged. I went to find Li Xia. Lu Ruyan returned to Lu Jimian's side, his dark face, and asked, how did it go? What were you talking about? Nothing special. She glanced at the gentle and considerate his. After today's birthday banquet, she will never have anything to do with me again. She will never give me a kind look again. When I walked in, she was intently flipping through the menu. Suddenly she heard a sound. Then she looked up and met my gaze. I smiled. Have you been waiting long? No, I just arrived too. Li Xia was watching me, so I naturally sat down next to her. Li Xia hadn't expected me to be so close to her and seemed a little uncomfortable. There were plenty of seats, I could have sat somewhere else. I didn't notice her discomfort at the time and asked, have you ordered yet? Not yet, I'm looking. Let me see. I leaned closer and took her hand, looking at the menu. Li Xia couldn't concentrate on the menu anymore. She kept staring at me. I wanted something strong flavored. It seemed like a reminder that I was still alive. Those days of hunger, cold and sleepless nights were torture for me. Even now, reborn, I sometimes dream that I'm still alive. The food was too spicy, so I fanned myself with my hand. I gently picked up my watermelon juice, took a sip, and Li Xia asked me, do you like spicy food? It's alright. I quite like it. What about you? I like it too. She answered cooperatively, picking up her chopsticks and taking some food. In her private room, the waiter was waiting nearby. A little while later, the owner of Huangting came in. He called me Master Zhou. Seeing him, I politely greeted him, Uncle Zhou. Master Zhou looked at me, a slight smile playing on his lips, and said, Shen Fan is here too. Hearing this, I immediately understood that he wasn't there to see me. Sure enough, Master Zhou walked to Li Xia, addressing her politely, Miss Li, welcome to our hotel. Is there anything we haven't done well? You can tell me. He knew Li Xia's identity because he was close to my father. Most people wouldn't know Li Xia's background, nor that the young heiress of the Li family in Beijing was hiding in Yincheng. Li Xia responded and continued eating. She was very aloof. I had initially thought she was a warm person, but after meeting her I realized that Li Xia didn't like to talk to others. Mr. Zhou stood beside her for a while, personally pouring her water, but she didn't say a word. That feeling of, keep away, permeated almost the entire private room. Finally Mr. Zhou had to excuse himself, saying, then I'll take my leave. Please enjoy your meal. Wait a moment, Uncle Zhou. Zhou stopped and then turned back. Is there anything else, young Master Chen? He asked. He smiled warmly and seemed like a very kind person, which is why I've always had a good impression of him. However, if I remember correctly, in my previous life, a fire suddenly broke out at the Huangting Hotel on the third day of Lu Ruyan's birthday banquet. The cause was inadequate fire safety measures in the kitchen. After the fire was extinguished, it was discovered that the fire extinguishers were unusable. That fire even caused casualties. That's why the Huangting Hotel, which was originally the most prestigious hotel in Yincheng, has been in decline since that incident. I heard that Uncle Zhou also fell ill because of it. I looked at Uncle Zhou and asked, is there a problem with the fire safety of your hotel? Seeing that I suddenly asked about this, Uncle Zhou looked at me with some surprise. Why is young Master Chen suddenly concerned about this? I replied, I just think you should have someone inspect it thoroughly, especially the kitchen. Don't worry, the fire safety of our hotel is perfect. There will absolutely be no problems. We will be responsible for our guests. I looked at him quietly. Uncle Zhou, why don't you go and check it yourself? Seeing my insistence, Mr. Zhou looked at me with a hint of displeasure. What do you mean by that, young Master Chen? Don't you believe what I say? Your father and I have been good friends for years. He knows my character very well. I'm a very honest businessman. You're questioning my character. I'm around your father's age, not yours. In his eyes, I'm just a child. How would a kid like you know anything about that? Li Xia said. Since he says the hotel is fine, why not go check for yourself? Li Xia hadn't spoken to Mr. Zhou since he came in. Li Xia always gave brief answers to his questions, but she gave the same answer now. Uncle Zhou was giving Li Xia some face. Okay, I'll go right away. Li Xia was very composed and given her composure, her words carried more weight despite being the same age as me. After Mr. Zhou left, I couldn't help but look at Li Xia in surprise. Why did you help me? I only made this request because I do know a lot. From Li Xia's perspective, it seemed I knew nothing about these things. Li Xia, hearing my words, said, since you asked, helping you is only right. Aren't you afraid I'm just making things up? What does it matter? She added, even if it's a joke, it's not a big deal. It's just making him run around. Li Xia said it so calmly, yet I felt a warmth spread through me. The kind of warmth that comes from finally being trusted. I remembered the moment I was diagnosed with AIDS. No one believed I was a victim. Everyone assumed I'd brought it on myself. If I really had, I would have accepted it. Everyone was blaming me, they were filled with disgust for me. I even started to hate myself. But I never imagined that Lu Ruyan had deliberately given me needles used by AIDS patients. She had deliberately done it so she could use my illness as an excuse to refuse to marry me. Only the person who framed you can truly understand how helpless you feel when no one believes you. Li Xia and I stayed there for a long time. Even after we finished eating, neither of us left. I had brought my homework with me, so I worked on it there too. Li Xia could also help me with my homework, and the two of them stayed until evening. When Lu Ruyan's birthday party ended and they were about to leave, everyone else was kept behind because Lu Ruyan hadn't paid the bill. Lu Ruyan called me, but I didn't answer the first time. Li Xia sat beside me watching me without answering. I already knew who it was, but I didn't care enough to answer. It wasn't until Lu Ruyan called twice more that I finally answered. Shen Fan, what do you mean? Lu Ruyan's voice on the other end of the line was filled with anger. The angrier Lu Ruyan sounded, the better I felt. Although I didn't want to associate with her anymore, I still had to avenge the grudge from my past life, otherwise I couldn't swallow that insult. I raised the corners of my mouth and said, Lu Ruyan, what's wrong? Why are you so angry? Come and pay the bill. Lu Ruyan lowered her voice, stop causing trouble. She originally thought that after the birthday party ended and she left, she wouldn't associate with me anymore. But she didn't expect me to be here waiting for her. Now she had no money to pay the bill, and everyone else was kept behind. Lu Ruyan arrived, and everyone was waiting for her. I said, that's strange. I didn't even attend your birthday party, so why should I be the one paying? Why don't you have your classmates split the bill? They've all been very nice to you, and you two seem to have a good relationship. You are always treating them to meals, after all. I used to give Lu Ruyan more than 100,000 yuan in pocket money every month, and she took it all without a second thought. She even believed the money she made from tutoring was rightfully hers. She was also very generous, often treating everyone to meals. Everyone thought Lu Ruyan was rich and wanted to be close to her, but she used my money. Shen Fan, do you really have to do this? What exactly do you want me to do so you'll come pay the bill? If you're asking someone for a favor, at least ask properly, don't you think? I heard Lu Ruyan exhale angrily over the phone. I wasn't fawning over her like before, so of course she was angry. I raised the corners of my mouth and said, you don't want to. Fine, then I'm hanging up. Go ahead. Lu Ruyan held the phone tightly, clenching her teeth. The hotel staff had blocked them from leaving, so they were all stuck there. I hung up the phone, stood up, and told Li Xia I was going out for a bit. I walked to the Jade Hall where the classmates attending the birthday party were still inside. They remained there, all staring at Lu Ruyan. The atmosphere instantly became extremely awkward. Unable to leave, Lu Ruyan could only helplessly stay there, enduring everyone's gaze. Just as I appeared, the manager approached and politely addressed me as Chen Shang. I looked at the group of people. They were all dressed up beautifully. This afternoon, they had all looked down on me, but this time they weren't so arrogant. After all, nothing was more shameful than being stuck here without money. What was wrong with everyone? Wasn't this Lu Ruyan's birthday party? They didn't seem very happy. I specifically observed Lu Ruyan. Her expression was more gloomy than anyone else's. Lu Jimian stood to the side, seemingly unsure of what was going on. This Miss Lu hadn't paid the bill. I just asked them to pay the bill. It's no big deal. Why make such a fuss? They're all my classmates. I'll pay tonight. I handed over my card and the manager took it and swiped it. The others looked at me with complicated expressions. Lu Ruyan was celebrating her birthday, and she actually made me pay. What was going on? Couldn't she pay herself? Lu Ruyan felt her face burning. She looked at me. No wonder I came over so easily. My purpose was to embarrass her, to let everyone know she was a poor girl who needed my money. I could have handled paying discreetly myself, but now it's so ostentatious, insisting on swiping the card in front of everyone. This man is really crazy. Soon, the manager finished swiping the credit card and handed me the card and the bill. Chen Xiao finished swiping. Here's the bill. I checked the bill and deliberately said the number 860,000. Lu Ruyan, happy birthday. It's your birthday this year. I'll pay this bill for you, but there won't be a next time. After saying that, I glanced at Lu Jimian. Lu Jimian was standing right next to me, his face already turning ashen. What's going on? Lu Ruyan's money all came from Chen Fan. Wasn't she a rich heiress? The scene before us was a humiliating blow to everyone. Wang Yan stepped forward and said to me, Shen Fan, what are you talking about? Lu Ruyan's money is yours just because it's in your hands. You're just the son of that mediocre family, helping them look after it. What are you getting in return? Your family's money is being held by servants. I looked at Wang Yan and smiled slightly. Since you say I'm the son of that mediocre family member in Lu Ruyan's family, then I'll tell you now I'm not. Her father is my family's driver. That day at the school gate, he abandoned me, took Lu Ruyan and Lu Jimian and ran away. He's been expelled now. If you don't believe me, you can ask Lu Ruyan. After saying that, I looked at Lu Ruyan. Lu Ruyan, what do you say? She glared at me, her eyes full of resentment. In all her life, even in her poverty, she had never suffered such humiliation. Now everyone was laughing at her. But this time, she couldn't say anything. After all, I might refund the money and leave her there. She ignored me, turned, and walked out. Lu Jimian witnessed everything and followed Lu Ruyan out. The scene was unbearable for Lu Jimian, but he had no choice but to leave. However, Lu Jimian hadn't expected Lu Ruyan to actually be the driver's daughter. So why had Lu Ruyan pretended to be a rich heiress before? After they both left, I glanced at everyone present. If there's nothing else, everyone can leave. Be careful on your way home. It's getting late. Everyone left the Jade Hall one after another. After watching them leave, I walked out of the Jade Hall. The manager accompanied me to the door and took me to the elevator. At this moment, Li Xia also came over, and the two of them entered the elevator together. This time I didn't say anything and remained very quiet. Although I had just clarified my identity in front of everyone, I wasn't very happy. Compared to the suffering I had endured over the years, this punishment for Lu Ruyan was nothing. I couldn't quell the resentment in my heart. Seeing that I remained silent, Li Xia didn't disturb me. The two of us reached the bottom of the stairs where they saw Uncle Joe. Upon seeing me, he immediately walked over. "Chen Fan," he said. This time his concern wasn't about Li Xia, but me. Uncle Joe took my hand warmly. "Xiao Fan, thank you so much! If it weren't for you, the hotel could have been in serious trouble. I just went to inspect it myself and discovered many problems. It's all because my cousin was incompetent. I've already sent him back home. It's only right." Uncle Joe asked curiously. "How did you know our hotel had fire safety issues?" This question startled me. I could only make up an excuse. "I dreamed about it last night." Hearing my words, Uncle Joe couldn't help but laugh. "Alright, I won't ask anymore. By the way, I had someone prepare some gifts for you too." He then had his assistant bring over the gifts, 2 small gifts in a bag. "Thank you. If you ever need anything in the future, just let me know." He felt deeply grateful. Uncle Joe saw us out. The Lee family's car had arrived. I sat in the car and stared out the window. There weren't many pedestrians on the road at this hour, but there were still quite a few cars, causing some traffic congestion. I remembered being very talkative whenever I was with Li Xia, but this time it was unusually quiet. Li Xia didn't look at me either. I just remembered that I had somehow predicted a fire safety problem at Huangting Hotel. Logically, I shouldn't know more about their hotel than Uncle Joe. As for the Jade Hall incident, he had also heard about it. Today was Lu Ruyan's birthday and I didn't go to be with her, but stayed with myself instead. That was bad enough, but to make Lu Ruyan feel so awkward in the end, I really wanted to completely break up with her. So why am I looking so dejected now? Actually, I was only sad for a short while before I stopped feeling upset, because I knew I'd been given a second chance, which meant everything could start over. As long as I didn't make the same mistakes as in my previous life, many things could still be done. Before long, exhaustion caught up with me. Studying so hard every day lately has been incredibly tiring, and I felt like I couldn't wake up properly. I was already half asleep, and before long I leaned against Li Xia. By the time we reached home, Li Xia's arm was already aching. Li Xia didn't dare change her position, afraid of waking me, so she could only stay in that position. "Miss, we've arrived." Li Xia glanced outside, then looked at my pale face, unsure whether to wake me. At this time the driver had already gotten out of the car and was waiting outside, but Li Xia didn't wake me. When the car stopped, I woke up and glanced out the window. When I realized I was home, I looked up at Li Xia. She was sitting there quietly, not even daring to look at me. I gently rubbed my slightly sore neck and sat up straight. "We've arrived." Li Xia nodded. "Then why didn't you wake me?" "I saw you sleeping so soundly," she said. Her face always had a blank expression. Looking at her, I noticed her ears were red. I'd always known Li Xia was shy, but I hadn't realized just how shy she really was. When Li Xia heard me call her name, she looked at me. I asked her, "Are you afraid of me?" "No," she replied. "But why don't you like looking at me? When you're with me, you seem to hate me." Li Xia stammered. "I'm just not used to being so close to other people. You're the first." Hearing her words, I couldn't help but laugh. "Then why don't you let me keep my distance from you?" Li Xia, as if to prove she wasn't being led by the nose, asked, "Why did you and Lu Ruyan break up? Didn't you like her a lot?" I fell silent for a moment at the mention of her. Looking at the empty street ahead, I realized I no longer liked her. "Forget it. I'm heading home." Just as I stepped out of the car, the Chen family's gate slowly opened, and my father, Chen Qingming, walked to the door. Seeing him, my eyes lit up. "Dad, you're finally home." Chen Qingming is quite busy with work, so I'm almost always home alone. There were plenty of servants in the house, but hardly anyone could control me. Even my father, because he spoils me, doesn't really discipline me. He always thinks as long as I'm happy, that's all that matters. With my father always indulging me, I'd never had much to worry about. My father advised me not to keep staring at Lu Ruyan, but I wouldn't listen. This time, seeing my father return, his expression was initially serious, trying to regain some of his fatherly authority in front of his son. Who knew I would suddenly act like this, even crying? Chen Qingming immediately panicked, gently patting my shoulder. "What's wrong, son? Who bullied you? Was it that brat Lu Ruyan? I heard you fired them both." I hugged my father. "It's nothing, I just missed you. Silly boy, I call you a couple more times, and you complain about me being annoying." "Oh, Is that the Lai family's car? Li Xia had already gotten out of the car. My eyes were red, and I felt a little embarrassed that she saw me. Li Xia brought me back. Chen Qingming glanced at me, seemingly surprised. He was extremely resistant to the engagement talk, even saying he would never have anything to do with Li Xia. Now, the two of them were out together. Although I didn't know what had gotten into my son, Chen Qingming still said to Li Xia, "Xia, come in and sit for a while." "Hello, Uncle Chen, I won't go in. I'll head back now." She glanced at me once before turning and getting into the car. The Li family's car drove off, and I followed my father back into the house. "Did Li Xia bully you?" Seeing my red eyes and aggrieved look, I shook my head and denied it. "No, she's been very nice to me." I sat on the sofa and saw my father staring at me. My father was still young, though he wasn't old when he passed away. But I always remembered him as seeming very old when he died. Chen Qingming asked repeatedly for a long time, only relaxing after confirming that I hadn't been bullied by Lu Ruyan. On Sunday morning, as soon as I got up, Aunt Zhou told me that Lu Ruyan had arrived. The scene from last night flashed through my mind. My relationship with her has completely broken down. Lu Ruyan should understand that I won't indulge her anymore. I didn't expect her to come. When I went downstairs, I found that not only Lu Ruyan was there, but also her father. Uncle Lu was sitting on the sofa and said to my father, "Mr. Chen, it's all because our Lu Ruyan is so unreasonable. I've already scolded her. She will never bully Chen Fan again." Chen Qingming frowned. "You dare call my son by his name?" He had long disliked the Chen family women. If it weren't for the fear of his son severing ties with him, he wouldn't have tolerated them at all. Uncle Lu realized he'd said something inappropriate and quickly apologized. "Young master. I meant young master." Seeing me come downstairs, he quickly turned his gaze. The light shifted away from me. "Good morning, young master. I brought Lu Ruyan here today specifically to apologize to you." I turned to look at Lu Ruyan and saw her sitting there, her face gloomy and silent. Apologize? I didn't believe Lu Ruyan had come to apologize, because her face clearly showed her unwillingness. It was obvious she still held a grudge from last night. How could she possibly apologize to me? "Uncle Lu, what are you saying? Lu Ruyan hasn't offended me in any way, and she doesn't need to apologize." "But I heard you fired her." When Uncle Lu was fired, he wasn't even that anxious. After all, her monthly salary wasn't much, and she worked long hours every day. But Lu Ruyan is different. She only tutored me and she can earn a lot of money. Maybe one day the entire Chen family would even belong to her. Right now, we've already had a falling out. It's a mess. How could Uncle Lu possibly agree to let her tutor me? My grades have been getting worse and worse these past few years, and Lu Ruyan also feels she's not up to the job. She thinks I'm too stupid for her to teach. So I simply did what she wanted and fired her. Actually, we had no conflict, and I didn't do anything unpleasant. Apologies aren't necessary. Chen Qingming glanced at me sideways, his expression extremely calm as I spoke. I had insisted on having Lu Ruyan tutor me and she had no choice but to agree. Now I was actually firing her. Chen Qingming was somewhat surprised and touched. His son had grown up. It was time for me to go to class and eat. Afterwards, Chen Qingming had someone escort the father and daughter out. After finishing my meal, I went outside. The driver was already waiting in the yard. I got in the car and as we drove out of the Chen family's house, I saw Lu Ruyan still at the door, along with her father. Unlike his gentle demeanor inside, Uncle Lu raised his hand and slapped her across the face. I knew about Lu Ruyan's background. Her father was stingy, and her mother couldn't bear it and abandoned her. For years she had lived with her father, and her school fees were borrowed from relatives. Later, as she grew older, she found her own way. Despite all this, she still managed to excel in her studies, always ranking first in school. Because of this, I felt especially sorry for her and took extra care of her. I gave her the best of everything, just wanting her to have a better life. Unfortunately, while I felt sorry for her, she never felt sorry for me. She had only ever treated me like an ATM. She didn't have feelings for me. I looked away and went straight to school. Because of what happened yesterday, everyone's attitude towards me seemed much gentler. My classmates started to chat with me. "Chen Fan, is your family really that rich? So all of Lu Ruyan's money comes from you? We always thought she was a rich heiress, didn't you already know that? We just found it strange." "Young master, why don't you look at me? I promise I'll be more obedient than Lu Ruyan." I looked at the girl in front of me and listened. Hearing her words, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Just then, Lu Ruyan appeared. "Just because I don't want you to treat me like this, Chen Fan, even if you do it this way, Lu Ruyan, will never like you. A young master like you with bad grades, who only relies on his family's money and wants everyone to revolve around him, is not even worth a finger of Lu Jimian's." Hearing Lu Ruyan mention it, everyone remembered that I was at the bottom of the class. I wasn't just Lu Ruyan's lapdog, still a good for nothing. Lu Ruyan said before I could even speak, bringing up last night's birthday party. "You asked me to invite everyone. I didn't want to go, but you deliberately embarrassed my classmates. Do you think you can toy with other people's self-esteem just because you have money? And don't try to twist the truth, saying you supported me. That money was just for tutoring you. I won't take your money anymore, but don't expect me to help you again." After saying this, Lu Ruyan immediately switched seats, acting as if she didn't want anything to do with me anymore. She started cultivating her aloof, academic genius persona again. She's always like this. I haven't forgotten the scene of her asking me for help last night. At first, when I saw her father hitting her, I felt a little sorry for her, but now it seems like he did it right. I never asked her for tutoring. Lu Rian, you really have the nerve to talk about tutoring. Since you started tutoring me, have you done anything worthwhile besides spending my money? My grades are always at the bottom of the class every month. It was you who tutored me, Lu Rian said expressionlessly. I told you long ago you're too stupid. What does this have to do with me? Chen Fan, you're so rich, why don't you use that money to buy a new brain? Everyone couldn't help but laugh at Lu Rian's words. I looked at her self-righteous expression and said, are you sure I'm stupid, or that your teaching methods are the problem? Lu Ruyan thought of Li Xia and knew I had already had Li Xia tutor me. She snorted lightly. Well then, how about this? Let me see your grades in the next monthly exam. I don't need much, just that your grade improves by 100 places, and I'll admit I have a problem. She wanted to see if Li Xia could really teach me, claiming my brain wasn't working properly at all. Okay, I looked at her. She only asked me to improve by 100 places, not even saying much, which showed how much she looked down on me.
With that, the story comes to an end. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to Senpai Respawn